Alexis here, coming to you with an awesome sale of 25% off when you use promo code OHURU25 at alexisfowler.com. I provide services like digital art, logo designs, packaging designs, web designs, social media flyers, and much more. If you're an entrepreneur with a business or a startup company, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity, getting 25% off when you use promo code OHURU25 at alexisfowler.com.
One of the greatest empires in world history was the Mali Empire. The Mali Empire was one of the most prosperous and powerful empires in the antiquity of Africa. Its growth and expansion from the 13th century onwards was legendary and pivotal in the history and culture of Western Africa. The Mali Empire Volume 1 from author J.P. Martin, available on Amazon, is a book which provides the full historical record of the Mali Empire. From their control over the trans-Saharan trade routes and development of great cities such as Timbuktu, to their influential royal class who produced notable African kings such as Mansa Musa, Sundiata Keita, and Mansa Abubakar Keita II, the Mali Empire made a significant impression. This book is perfect for anyone interested in learning more about the history of Western Africa. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The Mali Empire, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy today.
Greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, wherever you're at. Just thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot. I appreciate the support. I am thankful for the support that you all have given me and been rocking with me for the past, I've been doing this now, 9-10 years as far as coming on YouTube and posting content. Again, I just want to thank you all. I'm in a space of gratitude, and it really, really means a lot. Before we get started, before we bring Babalawo Ageshin Adimula, have an announcement. Sierra Leone. If you are interested in joining us in Sierra Leone, November 21st to December 3rd, please visit Donfo. That's Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. So please visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa. All right, we're also rolling to Benin for the Voodoo Festival in January. That's January 3rd to the 12th. Senegal for the Jazz Festival. So Benin for the Voodoo Festival, Senegal for the Jazz Festival. That's May 11th through the 21st. And then back to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. So we will love to have you. If you're interested in joining us, once again, please visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Without further ado, we're going to bring on Brother Babalawo Ageshin. I've known Ageshin now for 6 years. Met Ageshin when I first went to Nigeria in 2018. Aburo Oboye.
Aboy Bojise Ogo Ato Asuri Woriwo fun.
Bawoni Inka.
You say?
Bawoni.
Gbogbo nǹkan dá. Báwo ni side yín náà?
Bawoni Mowa Dada Eshel.
Ọpẹ́ ni fọ́lọ́run, ọpẹ́ ni f'Elédùà. Elédùmarè ṣeun.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
know
So,
Eledumare?
Elodumare, yes, Elodumare. We give thanks to
You
Elodumare,
know
yeah.
that is him we call Olorun.
Who?
The same thing as Eledumare is the same thing as Olorun,
Oloro.
which equivalent to the Western God.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was from Ifa that we call God Olorun. But when the Western comes down to Yoruba land here, that is in Kocho Jiri here. Now they are looking for what they can use to match their God, and
Right.
that's why they give God the meaning Olorun, which is from Ifa. Ọba gbẹrù bí ọyẹ́, kùrukùru abòkè mọ́lẹ̀, adífá fún ọlọ́fin àjà láyé, àbùfọ́ ọlọ́fin àjà lọ́run. Ọlọ́fin àjà lọ́run, that is what we Yoruba now abbreviate to Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́fin àjà lọ́run. Ọlọ́fin means ọba.
Okay.
Àjà means okay. It means top, king, top of everything. So now it's now become Ọlọ́run, which is the same thing as Eledumare. So I greet you in the name of Eledumare.
Thank
You are
you.
welcome.
Thank
And
you.
all my viewers, I greet you all.
Yeah, so topic today is, why do people demonize Ifa? I had a guy leave a comment saying that Ifa is devil worship. Why do people say that Ifa is devil worship?
Okay. Thank you very much, my prince.
Huh?
You are very, very welcome, and I thank every one of our viewers that I greet you. I say Aborboyi to all of you. I pay the homage of our forefather, our ancestors to all of you. And I say this October 1, as Gregory has counted it, all of us are going to enjoy this month with grace, with blessings, and above all, with good and sound earth. Now, to your question, Prince, if anybody is now demonize Ifa, it's as if the person doesn't even understand himself. Yes, Ifa is not a voodoo, it's not a magic. Ifa is not a magic. Ifa is a real phenomena. Ifa is a real phenomena. It can be practiced. It can be tested. Yes. It can be examined. And it can be learned. You can learn Ifa. When you know the methodology of Ifa, then you don't have problem again. So Ifa is nothing like a demon. I can from here do my reading for someone, and my reading is going to tell us exactly what is happening to the person. Out of the person's problem, let's say 4, 5, 6 problems, Ifa will bring up nothing less than 3 or 4. So, and Ifa doesn't let you go about maybe you are doing woman ritual, or you are doing all sorts of or just rituals. Ifa is not like that. So automatically, when you are talking about Ifa, you are talking about something godly. You are talking about something just. You are talking about something methodological. You are talking about something arithmetical. You are talking about something scientific. You are talking about something medicinal. And you are talking about everything pertaining to humanity. And that is Ifa for you. Ifa tells about humanity. Ifa tells the story of humanity. Ifa tells the story of the universe. Ifa tells everything about us all. Even the hidden spiritual problem that every one of us have in this life. Ifa reveals them. Then how could you say somebody that want to straight your life, that can, bring the secret of where you are suffering to be known for you, a devil? How can you say it's a demonic? So maybe the person has never come nearer Ifa to understand Ifa. If you want to learn Ifa, it's free for every one of us to learn. So when you are learning Ifa, or you are staying in a gathering like this, where we are giving a lecture about Ifa and our research, then you'll be able to learn more and understand more about Ifa. Then you are going to know that Ifa is not demonic, because that is the painting they have given Ifa and our research from all these Western religions, and our people that doesn't even believe in Ifa and our research. So that's why that is just the ideology they have, given them. That's why they are talking like that about Ifa. Ifa is not, it's not a magic. It's not a magic. It's not a voodoo that maybe you just paint this and this one, you join it together, and you are saying yes. No, it's not a metaphysic. Ifa is not a metaphysic. Ifa is not a metaphysic. Yeah. Hello, so that is it.
My bad, I was muted. Let me read the super chat. Olodumare, Olorun are the same thing. God at its most unlimited, unbound, paramount. Think of Olodumare as all the time and energy concept, and Olorun as space and matter, tangible. But all of that combined is still most formally said is called Olodumare.
You are still on your way, but most importantly, the second one that this explainer is trying to refer to is what we call Oluwa in Yoruba. We have about 3 different language. I mean, about 3 different words that people are using for God. People are using Eledumare, people are using Olorun, and people are using Oluwa. But Oluwa is the one that my fellow is now referring to, that is physical. Because you can go, when you go to court, you call judge our Lord, and you still refer to God as Lord, and that is Oluwa for you. So when you are talking about Oluwa, that is when you are referring to a universal overall king, or somebody that is your boss. You can call your boss Oluwa. A woman can call her husband Oluwami, and the cadets from Yami, they can call their warlord, their knight, Oluwami. So Oluwa is what he is referring to. But when you are talking about Olorun and Eledumare, they are most powerful, and they are powerful more than Oluwa. So when we are talking about Oluwa, sometimes we refer to somebody that is higher than us, maybe in position, in prestige, in financial aspect or whatever. We call them Oluwami. So, but when you are talking about Olorun and Eledumare, they almost go together. But when you are talking about Oluwa, that is when you are referring to a tangible entity of a man, of a woman, that is he is mighty more than others. So that's just it.
Okay, let's see what else we have here in the chat room. You know what? I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat room. If you guys want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. So links in the chat room. Click on the link and you can call in and ask a question. Shout out to my brother Fitzgerald Stevens. And I know Fitzgerald was cheering yesterday because he thought wrong that my Georgia Bulldogs were going to lose yesterday. But hey, we came back, Fitzgerald. We came back and we won. So I know Fitzgerald was looking forward to us losing, but it didn't happen. Now, people always bring up, Baba, they always bring up how Ifa needs to modernize. How does Ifa mix with modernity, a modern Ifa? How does that look like? I know we spoke on schools, but what else do we need to do to modernize Ifa?
All right. Thank you very much. If you are going to modernize Ifa, I told you for the first time you brought me into this program that if at all we have to modernize Ifa, there are a lot of ways of which we can modernize Ifa, but the basis of Ifa cannot be modernized. if you want it to be the truth as it has been since the beginning of the world. You understand? If you want it to be as truth, as mighty, as powerful, as energetic as it was when since the universe has been established, we cannot modernize the basis of Ifa, but we can only modernize the way we are doing it. You understand?
Okay, understand.
Look at me now. I'm a Babalawo. Look at the way I dressed.
Right.
You don't need to run away from me. We can eat together. We can go together to any party. You
Right.
call me.
And drink orange
Yeah,
bill. Orange bill.
Yeah, this is part of modernization of Ifa. It doesn't really matter that when you see the ring on my fingers, you'll be running away. We can eat together. This is Fasasi. Yeah. Look at my beads. Very fair and simple. Look at my clothes. It's not dirty. I'm okay. You can if you see me, if I don't tell you I'm Babalawo, you can even confuse calling me a Babalawo. That is part of modernization. Ifa people must be they have to be very careful about drinking. Yes, drinking of all this alcohol. You understand? So all this alcoholic taking, we have to be very, very careful about it. This is part of how we can modernize the Ifa. We must be sure that the combination of Western knowledge and our Ifa knowledge go pari passu. They have to go all together. When you want to know about Ifa, at the same time you have to know about all these Western curriculums like science, integrated science, mathematics, economic, physics, chemistry, everything like that together. As soon as you are having the knowledge of Ifa, you must be having those knowledge together to help you to reach the greater height. This is part of modernization of Ifa, because in the olden day, our forefather, the fact they have known, they have the knowledge of Ifa, they don't even bother to read, to have any Western education. This is part of how we can modernize Ifa. Now, we can, like me now in my temple, I'm looking forward to obtain a certificate that if anybody don't want to marry, they can marry and have the rings from my own temple, and it's going to be a traditional marriage. I'm working towards that. This is part of how much to modernize it. So our children will not be going to all this registry.
The registry, yeah.
Where they're going to, change their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're going to use a Bible or Quran, to feed them on the day of their wedding. This is how we can modernize. I think all these small things, how we can, modernize everything. The way we look, the way we are knowledgeable, the way we do our things, we just have to be very, very modernized in that. But the basis of Ifa, the way we consult Ifa, maybe Ikin or Kwele, the way we printed it, the way we do the etutu, the sacrifice, we cannot change that. That one cannot be modernized more than that. I know I have to reach some plot point, please, if you can permit me.
Go ahead.
I believe people will be thinking or talking about killing of animals. Mm-hmm. I believe it's going to reach that too. I believe I've heard some people that are telling me that why should we kill an animal? Why should we shed the blood? Why should we? Yes, even in the Bible, in the Quran, all these animals are made for our consumption.
Right.
And for the betterment of our life on this planet. If you are telling me you cannot kill an animal, you are killing a life, then why are you eating vegetables? Are the leaves are they not living things? Didn't they have their own chromosome? Didn't they have their own nucleus? And that is how it's applicable to our blood. Our blood it has its own nucleus too. And that's what plenty of nucleus, that's what makes a cell. And from cell, we have blood streams. So when you are talking about maybe a killing of an animal, killing of all this, then you should not eat vegetable again. You can be drinking only water. But if so far you are eating some vegetables for your own health, there's nothing that debar us from killing an animal to appease our research. So far we are going to gain from what we are doing. That's all I believe.
All right, thank you for Mr. Ife Olua. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. Again, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. Someone's asking in the chat room, is there a book that you can buy that because I have a couple Odu Ifa books, but is there a book that you could buy that would be similar to the Bible or the Quran, but for Ifa?
Thank you very much, my brother. You can only be buying some books, which are the first ones. When you look at King James, Moses, the book of Moses, you are going to see that even in the Bible, Moses have more than 10 books, but they only wrote about 3 or 4, which is Genesis, Exodus, Number, and which one again? I don't remember everything now because I'm sorry. You understand? Moses wrote many books, but there are a lot of books that they didn't include it in the Bible.
Right.
For spirituality's sake. For the spirituality's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So Ifa is being learned from mouth to ear. We learn Ifa from mouth to ear. In the olden day, we don't write Ifa down. You don't even record Ifa. You are going to go there to cram, but it settles in your brain. When it settles into your brain, then if they just say, oh yeah, this and that, they just maybe someone does, there's a corpus of Ifa that comes out. You don't need to say, oh, ooh, or you will be thinking before you can say something. That is the essence of being Babalawo. That is the respect of being Babalawo. That is the respect of being Babalawo. When you just hear one module and you don't even read anything, and you started from your head, offhand. We call it offhand. You people know about it. We call it offhand, and you are just trying to do it offhand. Then from there, you'll be talking. Hello, you will be talking as if you are angel. Then that is where everything is going to be perfect. But the one you read, you write, before you can say you go to a book, some book might have even have some problem. It must have, cut off. You miss many words. You miss many things. There may be a water, there may be a water accident on the book, and then the book was melted altogether. You won't be able to even know. But you see, there are a lot of books that you can read that will tell you more about Ifa. Like me now, I'm preparing one book now, but the book is not only for Ifa. I call it the Epstein of the universe. The Epstein. I bring the Epstein from epistemology. That is the fact that is buttressing the fact. That is epistemology in philosophy. You understand? So the fact that is buttressing the fact. So that is the Epstein. That is what I wrote is the fact that is telling us the fact about the universe. And from here, you are going to see Ifa verses, some stories. We try to, rebrand some stories. We corrected them according to Ifa. And from that book, you cannot see a reference from Google. You cannot see any reference from any book at all. Every reference in that book based on Ifa verses, on corpuses of Ifa. I brought the corpuses of Ifa and I wrote under it and I explain a lot of things under it. Then from there, I bring some Orisas. From some of Orisa, I talk about them for us to know. I bring Ori, I talk about it. I talk about human behavior. I talk about taboo. Then I correlate it back to how they took our people to the other side of the world, that you people in diaspora. And I let you people know that we just have to come back home to understand that our religion, our faith, our belief, our philosophy is still ours. And we can still, hail if we can start to continue with it. So that is just the book I'm writing. But you cannot see any book that is going to be like a Bible. But you can just only see some people that will be taking two verses or two chapters from each of 256 corpus of Ifa. That's what you can see. You cannot see it's comprehensive. So you are welcome.
Someone in the chat room says, if Ifa works, why did we end up in slavery? What would be your response to that?
Please come again, please.
If Ifa works, why did we end up in slavery?
Thank you very much. Ifa works, but I want you to understand one thing. If you didn't believe in what you are doing, sometimes you'll be thinking maybe the thing is not working for you. Let me tell you one thing. By the time the slavery comes, I believe if I would have warned our forefather then to be careful of some things or the other. By the time the Christian was entering and the Muslim, there were warning from Ifa. We call the Muslims as Ifa Igba Lode. That is the modern Ifa. That is the name given to Islam. Then they call it modern Ifa. Then Christian too, they call them modern Ifa. All these two strange religions, they call them modern Ifa in the olden day. Then Ifa warn our people then to be very, very careful and do not accept beyond their faith all these strange and modern Ifa that they were bringing. But our people, due to their curiosity and greediness, they enter into the wrong hand of the slave traders, and that's how it works. And when before it happens, our forefather, some of our forefather, it might not be king, because some people they are blaming the kings in the olden days. Maybe our king doesn't do good. It was our king that sold us. No, not only our kings, our kinsmen that are not kings. They sold us. They took, or they agree with all these Western world to accept all these foreign belief, and for so doing, there are betrayers. And when the center cannot hold, things must fall apart. The people that have got their own faith, they have got their own way of doing their life. Some just enter into another strange belief, and it started using that belief to even confuse others. From there, the center break. When the center break, then things cannot hold again. That is how we split by ideology. Our split by ideology makes them to take us as a slave. And Ifa told us that if you are deceiving Ifa, you are deceiving yourself. And Ifa might end up deceiving you. If Ifa says, please don't drink water today, I'm just taking it as an example. Ifa will never say, don't drink water, because it will never kill you. But let me put it like that. If Ifa says, today, don't wear red clothes. Let me put it like that. Today, don't wear red clothes. But now, to your own deceit, you went ahead, or let me say you go ahead, you now mix red with white, with other colors, and you say, yes, maybe I'm not wearing red completely. So far, I'm not wearing red completely. What is the matter? But do you know you are deceiving yourself? Even that small part of red that you've wore can even cause damage and endless damage to one's life. And this is what has happened in the olden days. Our people betray themselves because they have deceived themselves. They have ignored all what Ifa was telling them then. And that was what happened. It's only they will not tell you, our people will not tell you more about this. But as we are doing our program going on, I'll be revealing more and more about it and how we were enslaved to that extent.
Guys, if you're interested in joining us in Sierra Leone, November 21st to December 3rd, November 21st through December 3rd, please visit donfo.africa, donfo.africa. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. Now, I know there was a couple of people in the chat room that said they wanted to call in. The link's in the chat room. Oh, here we go. CD, go ahead. CD got him. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. You are welcome.
I got to ask Baba a question. You heard me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, let me ask you this. I was initiated in Santeria in Palo Mambe almost 2 years ago, a year ago or so, like that, something like that. But do a person have to be reinitiated into Ifa if they was already initiated in Santeria?
Okay, you are initiated in Santeria.
Yeah.
And what happened? Have you never seen any? Have you never acknowledged any impact of Ifa in your life?
Yeah. Well, I studied Ifa a lot. I know some priests, but I never got initiated because of COVID at the time.
Okay, you have never done your initiation, but you have been learning about Ifa.
Yeah.
All right, it's better for you to do your initiation.
Mm-hmm.
You are welcome, my brother Ibarao. You see, you have to do your initiation. You know, the importance of initiation is for you to know yourself, to know your archetype, what you come down to this life to do. It will tell you everything about yourself, your taboo, what you're supposed not to eat. You know, I told you about something about red clothes the other time now when I was explaining about how they took us and does Ifa doesn't work. No, when if you don't know the kind of person, the kind of person you are, one is liable to have problem upon problem. Even if you love Ifa, you follow Ifa, you do everything about Ifa, but you were not told some extent of what you're supposed to know about yourself. Automatically, the person will still be at circumlocating. The person will be circumlocating. You won't got yourself. But when you do your initiation in a proper way, please mark you. In a proper way, mark you for that. In a proper way, and from a competent Babalawo, a competent priest. Because there are a lot of priests nowadays. I'm not destroying anybody, but you people know, you know yourself. There are a lot of priests. There are some that are not Babalawo, but they are parading themselves to be Babalawo. They will take your money, then they will now present another person for you to do everything. Even they may not be there. They won't even know what to say. So all I'm trying to say is that, and what you don't have, you don't give. You cannot give anybody what you don't have. It's something you have that you can give. So when you see a Babalawo that is a learned, is a renowned Babalawo, if such Babalawo now do your initiation, I'm telling you, within 6 months, 1 year, you are going to see that your life is going to change. It's not everything about money. I always tell people, anybody that told you to come and do initiation because of money, they are just faking you. Ifa is not all about money. It's all about your existence. Which money is part of it? Money is part of your existence. But remember what is going to be the first major thing about your existence is your life. Ifa keep your life, it protect your life. Then after that, it gives you a very good head, sound head. To join the life it gives you or protect for you. It will now try to give you a very sound head. From there, all the spiritual problem you are having, Ifa will now, be giving them sort of cleanliness. So you will be clean spiritually, and your own energy will now come to you. Then before you can talking about richness, maybe you want to reach, maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do that. If you have never been clean spiritually, automatically you cannot, even when if you have money, you will be spending that money lavishly, and you will not even know where you are spending your money. But when you have some things done in spiritual cleansing, then you'll be able to know where you are going and how you spend even the money you even acquire. And this is Ifa for you. Ifa is not about richness. If somebody is telling you Ifa is all about maybe you get rich, you have money, you have estates, you have big cars, you have everything like that, Ifa is not like that. Ifa is all about your existence generally. So you are welcome.
So I'm gonna ask you this. Okay, let's say if one get initiated and let's say if one get initiated with you and they have to go back to America, how would you handle that situation?
Well, if you want to do the initiation with me, you come to Nigeria. When you come to Nigeria, we take you to our forefather group. When we take you to our forefather group, that is where we are going to do. That's why our forefathers have been doing their own initiation since all these days. So there we are going to do your own initiation too. So from there, we believe whatever we do for you is going to be okay. So if you want to know anything about it more, you can contact Prince. Then Prince will give me your contact. Then I will give you my contact. Then we talk on WhatsApp.
I'll put your number in the chat room too, so they can reach out to you directly. If that's okay with you. Okay. Miss
So,
Ibarra.
Ibarao. You are a
Brother
woman.
Dynasty. Yes, I am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ẹ káàsán, ẹ kú gbogbo
Yes.
gbà. So, Brother Dynasty, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
All right, after to you.
Ẹ ṣé o.
Adúpẹ́. Ẹ wo, mo fẹ́ béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín, bọ̀ máa sọ ní òyìnbó, so for the benefit of àwọn tó wà ní lórí platform. So
you are welcome.
I was just telling Baba that I'm going to ask him in English for the benefit of the platform. So the question that I have, what do you think? I don't have any question per se as far as the Ifa is concerned. My mom is from Ibadan, right? And my father is from Abeokuta, Omo Ibara to be precise.
Oh, so, Ibara, who?
Ibara, that's right.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir. I have a question. What do you think of the idea of our people showing everything, particularly the Ifa, to those that does not look like us? I'm talking about all initiating white people. What are the implications of doing something like that, considering what we've been through?
All right. Thank you very much, my sister. You know, when Ifa says in one of his past, and what it means is that if you are thinking, or you are maybe, let me put it like, thinking of how painful it is when a mosquito bites you, you are even going to harm yourself by in the process of saying you want to kill it. You understand? So I don't know whether people understand that parable.
Yes.
So that's why I simplify it so people they can understand. Yeah, you definitely understand. Yeah, thank you. If we think about what the Western have done to us, we will not have even in this life have anything to do with them. Yeah. But one thing I want to tell you, your question is going to break into two aspects. The first aspect is that generality as a human being, there's nothing bad in that, sir. Because if you don't bring the outsiders into your camp sometimes may not be full. Even in Nigeria here, let me say in Africa, how many people are even embracing the traditional religion again, or let me say traditional philosophy again. People are running to the other belief, the other two beliefs that they brought for us. You see, it's only this time around that we are seeing people coming back to our to our belief, to our faith, which is traditional religion worshiping, and we do appreciate that. And if you can remember, if I say in one of his verses, oni jìnnà, oni tifa ba tajode, oloni le oma, oni Ifa sawo loni. Now Ifa has come back because it's the truth of the universe. It's the truth. It has now come back. Then it will now bring both the son and the slave together, so that they will now come together under him to serve him again. And this is how we can, bring these people into our folks again, and we tell them that we are their superior, either they like it or not. That is number one. The first aspect. The second aspect, me personally, my own personal opinion, you understand, is that doing initiation for people in the diaspora is what I go against.
Okay.
Let me tell you one thing. If you start doing that, I am telling you, please go and write it and say one Ageshin Adimula says it. I can give you 10 years to this time. These people, they are going to maneuver. And if you don't care, they are still going to, they will rebrand it and sell it back to us.
Exactly. So
let me give you an instance. Please, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
In Mecca today, there's no two Kaaba in the world. There was a Kaaba in Senegal in the olden days. But the Mecca people, the Arab people, they went from that Mecca to come to Senegal, and they destroyed that Kaaba. They said they only want one Kaaba. If you want to, and if you can read some story, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago now, the Iraq and Iran, they were contemplating of having another Kaaba, their own region. And the Saudi people, the Saudi Arabians, they've spent a lot of dollars to make sure it is impossible for the Iraq and Iran to build another Kaaba. So automatically they are using only that Kaaba to provide money as a tourist center for people from all over the world. This is sense. This is wisdom.
Indeed.
But most of our, let me say, how do I say it? Maybe our
leaders,
papa,
our scholars,
our leaders, our leaders, they don't think of tomorrow for all the Africans. All what they are thinking now is their wallet. If they think of tomorrow, because for all of us and for you diaspora, that maybe you have suffered and they don't want us to have another sufferness, they're supposed not to have been doing any initiation in anywhere more than outside of Yoruba land. Magda, that is just the only two aspects of it.
So that is very important, because that is what brings me to the conversation, what I'm about to say, in the fact that for the most part, the more these people know about what we do in Yoruba land as far as the Ifa is concerned, and I'm concerned that so many of us, even including myself, I am a Muslim. And to say that my forefathers and generation of my family being a Muslim, I don't know if I'm necessarily interested. I'm interested in Yoruba culture as it is, it were.
Thank you.
Right? So I have no issue with that. However, I do have issue because I understand the implication of what has happened to our people, and how when people learn about some of this stuff, they turn around and use it against us.
Yeah,
it is the using against us is what I have an issue about, where, as you just said, most of our people are not necessarily interested in what this is about. And then they will come back and take it from the very same people. So it is my belief that maybe those that are initiated in Nigeria or particularly in Yoruba land, they may be interested in the tradition themselves and not use it for evil. But because of what they've done for all these centuries, it makes me.
Ibarra.
Yes, I'm just pausing. I'm taking a breath.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It makes me wonder because
I can feel you. I can feel you. I'm sorry.
I came from those that fought the colonization. And when my father was telling us about what has happened to his forefathers, and I remember in 2019, before my dad went home, he said the reason why he will never contemplating sleeping with a white woman was what has happened to his people. And these things, we don't talk about it enough in Nigeria, particularly us as Yoruba, to say, what is it that happened to us? And what can we do to make sure it will never happen to us again? Even if we choose to show them this Ifa, how can we make sure the Yorubas, we have a very peculiar group of people. How can we, because how can we make sure the Yorubas, the Abeokutas, the Ibadans, the Ilefes, the Oyo people, the Ekiti, how can we make sure we are one to make sure we don't end up again in slavery? You see what I'm saying? That though I understand we may think these people, I don't say no, some of them are not good. But I'm saying this is how we end up in slavery. Because we're so generous. We're so good to others, but we're not good to ourselves. We love outsiders, but we don't love ourselves. I get it. I get it. I think I get it.
If I saw it, I'm sorry to come in. If I saw any abi one ki wu one,
yes.
So please come in.
Our people have been through so much. I am extremely concerned about the implication of showing anybody what we got. Because we are what we call single consciousness.
Can I interject? Can I interject real quick?
Go ahead. I'll let somebody else take it.
Yeah. Peace to the rooms. Greetings to Dinus. Greetings to everybody. I heard. Yeah. Thank you. I heard. Ageshin. He said that there was a Kaaba in Senegal. Can you please elaborate more on that?
In the olden days, they were gathering over there to form their own Kaaba there. It's not that maybe they have built the same Kaaba or another Kaaba has been emerged there before, but they are trying to. In the olden days, there wasn't a flight. They were using their legs from Yoruba land here to say they want to go and do their Hajj. And it's not impossible. It's not possible for them to go right from Yoruba land and go far, reach Mecca between even a year, and they are using their legs. But they are gathering at Senegal sometimes to do their Kaaba there. It's not that maybe they built or they have the same Kaaba there, but the Arabs, they make sure they forfeited everything concerning something like that, so that people are now coming down to Arab, or everybody that want to do Hajj have to go to Mecca to do their Hajj. That is what I mean. It's not that maybe there's the emergency of a Kaaba or something like Kaaba is there. No. They are just forming their own Kaaba there, and they are doing their Hajj there. They are doing the Salah there. Then they will return home and say maybe they have just come from Hajj. That was what they are doing in the olden day, but it doesn't happen so long before the Arab break all those things. I don't know whether you understand.
Yeah. I say that to say this, right? Because I'm from Senegal. I'm currently in Senegal right now. And the mindset of the people here, is just so colonized. Maybe it's because I'm here in Dakar, which is the capital city, but the people here are so colonized. I was talking to a Senegalese guy yesterday, and he says the Arabic language is superior to our language. He says Mecca is superior, the Arabs are superior, and I meet a lot of Senegalese people. They feel this way, and white Jesus, there's a small Christian minority here in Senegal, and these people, they believe in a white Jesus, and I talk to them. I'm like, yo, how are you a black person and you're worshiping a white deity? And they see no problem with it at all. Like I'm just at a point right now where I feel like it's no hope for Africans. Africans in large Africans in large have all accepted that white people are superior and we are the inferior race. We have subconsciously all accepted that.
Let me. Okay, maybe you come. Please let me let you finish with your what you are saying, please.
Yeah, I mean, I landed my point.
All right. Now there is hope for Africa. Please always have it at the back of your mind that that's so. How the hope is going to be, and we are going to have the hope, is what we are doing now. Is what Janice is doing. We are converging ourselves together. We are now trying, out of meeting ourselves, either on social media, either on phone, either physical. We are talking about our land, which is Africa. Some people, either we like it or not, will never agree with us. But some are going to agree. We can form a coalition, even with those small that agrees. Then we start something. Maybe we start workshop from there. We are in this room, we can start workshop. We can be giving ourselves lecture from one place to another. When you see somebody that is a Babalawo, but at the same time a Pan-Africanist. When you have a Pan-Africanist with you that you are Pan-Africanist, and it's a Babalawo that can even talk and insert our problem into his knowledge and give us solution out of that knowledge, I think we can start something. We can start workshop. We can start lectures. If you want me to come to anywhere in the world, I'm ready to come. I'm saying this plainly. To say whatever I know. There are a lot of things our people are supposed to know, but they have never known it. Because the problem we still have is about leaders. They are still embracing the first story histories. How could somebody tell you what Samuel Johnson has said is the truth about Africa? When Samuel Johnson is looking forward for the way to make sure they enslave us to become Christians, do you think they are going to say anything that is going to be against Christianity? Do you think Ajayi Crowther will write any story or any history that will go against the Bible? Do you think any imam whatsoever are ready to write any history that is going to go against Quran? No, they will never do that. When they want to write, they said, Oduduwa, fall from Mecca. Even from the point of view, how could somebody think of that? When you go back to the history of Arabs or Mecca, the Mecca people, they don't have 401 deities. It was only in the Baghdad, in Iraq, that you are going to see something pertaining to that. You have never read anything story that tells you that anybody uses flying mat or flying magic in Mecca, but you will read it about Iraq. When you watch The Thief of Baghdad, it was an old movie, old cinema, That is why you are going to see that they were riding on fly mats. If you have watched the cinema before, you have never seen any of a story of Arab or like Mecca that they did their flying with a fly mat. How could even if it is true that Odudu are just falling from heaven, if it is just true, but which is not like that, how will you relate somebody that has never got something like that to somebody that has with Odudu? They forgot that if at all want to say Odudu come from any Arab country at all, it's going to be from Baghdad. That is Iraq. Have they ever write it that is from Iraq before? They will only tell you it's from Mecca, so that they want to relegate us. So we are going to become a second citizen in the world. That's exactly what they want. And this is why they brought the story. And look at our leader today. They're still parading all those nonsense stories. They are parading it.
Wait, but Ageshin, right? You know, I understand a lot of Africans, you know, a lot of African countries, they blame their politicians, they blame their governments, but the government is a reflection of the people. You know, if the government is corrupt, then that means the people is also corrupt. You know, it starts with the people. And also, I want to say this, right? Other races, you know, they use religion to gain power, right? To push their supremacy, right? Meanwhile, we Africans, we don't understand that. We don't understand that religion is a cultural concept. We become slaves to religion. You know, we just pray. And even traditional African religions have been reduced to, you know, superstitions and, you know, like nonsense, you know, even Ifa, right? You know, people are bleaching, you know, the Orishas, you know, to gain the favoritism of, you know, Central Americans and Mazitos. You know, the Babalawos are selling Ifa out. You know, even in Benin, you know, they're selling traditional African religion out. You know, we're so addicted to worshiping whiteness. It even is in traditional African religion.
Well, it is true, but to me, I don't used to blame. The politicians, because the problem has been on the ground before they politicize us. The problem has been on the ground since 18 something, and Nigeria have their independence in 1960. They first have their Republican maybe in 1950 something. Now, just tell me. So how will we blame the politician about that? No, we shouldn't blame our politician. The person, you see, I told you in the last, program or the first one, that they dogmatize us with books and education. Why can't we liberate ourselves with that book and education? And it's very, very simple. I'll tell you. I'll be saying it. They have, you know, in the olden day, when they first come down to Africa, they have CMS, that is Christian Missionary Schools. Christian Missionary Schools. Some people call it societies, but they used to form schools. So from these schools, if you are a traditionalist, and your student, your children, your wards want to go to their school, they will tell you that firstly they are going to baptize that child. They will first baptize the child. When they baptize the child, they change the name. When they change their name, they now start, you know, feeding them with all their fake story about Bible. How Mango Park discovered River Niger, that has been there ever before. Mango Park will say it will come to Nigeria. They will now be telling us everything like that. You see? But if we too, and then when the Muslims want to do their own, they started Ansaruddin Magaranta or Ansaruddin Primary School. There, if anybody want to go to that school, if you are not a Muslim, they will now do wonka to you. They will now they will rebut you. When they rebut you, they will now rename you to Quranic name. So from there, you will be doing the ablution, you will be doing Allahu Akbaru and all sort of. And at the same time, they will be feeding you with all the fake story of Quran. Now, if we too can start something somewhere, why can't we have our own school that is going to be purely traditional? And we are going to be teaching all these Western education like physics, chemistry, biology, because our children too, they're supposed to be professional. Yes, all of us cannot be all of us cannot be a prophet. All of us cannot be cannot be a priest. So we have to be professional. You understand? Now, if we can start something like that, but anybody that is coming to our dad school will be named with Ogun, with Ifa, with Oshun, with our traditional deities. Then everything we are going to teach about that, apart from that science, apart from that Western curriculum, it must be based on traditionals. That is how we can bring ourselves back.
I have a question for you. It's more of
you
a
are welcome.
comment.
All right.
Today just happened to be Nigeria's
Independent
Day, right?
Yeah.
So how appropriate that you are here today, even though it's via the YouTube, right? It goes without saying that the work that Brother Dynasty Amir is doing is actually, I don't think he will understand what is done. It's going to take him a long time what this will mean to a lot of people, that for him to have this type of platform and people can actually then communicate back and forth. I say all that to say, I wanted to ask a question about the Nigerian movie, the Yoruba movie particularly. To say that I'm offended by some of Yoruba movies is not even the right word. And the level of abomination that our Yorubas actors and actresses are indulging in are the constant emulating of homosexuality in movies and the implication of that, because that is not Yoruba culture. That is not Yoruba culture. And I'm sure you know by now that the
Wait,
idea
Ibarra, I don't mean to cut you off, right? But what do you say? And I agree with you're saying. Homosexuality is not a part of African culture. But how do you feel about people saying that, the Orisha Oshumare, he's the Orisha of the rainbow? They say, Oshumare is, a homosexual deity. How do you respond to that? Because a lot of people, that's what they say.
Because they are committing abomination.
Who made the rainbow gay? Whoever said a rainbow is associated with homosexuality?
Europeans.
Nobody
So
ever.
that is why I wanted to ask Baba the effect of our people, because somebody can say, they can say what they have to say. There is no reason for us to constantly showing that in our movie because it's not part of our culture. The Yoruba themselves know it's not. But what I'm concerned is the effect of it on children watching stuff like that, thinking that it's okay. Because now I'm in America, and everywhere you go, this is just the culture now, right? So now, why are we considering what they did to us, where they use these things to punish our men back then, to destroy us as a people? Why are we indulging in it and we call it just a movie? If you can say something about that, I mean, and I wanted to know from your point of view, is there something that the people, the elders are talking about that we need to put a stop to this?
Well, thank you very much, Ibarra, and Mr. Wolof. Am I correct? So I thank you very much for all your observations, both of you. But if you want me to say the truth, and you believe the truth cannot hear no tears was mouth, That's how we say in Yoruba. I will say my truth here. Everybody knows me. I always like to say the truth. I don't care how it meets you. Number one, Osun has never done any homosexual. I'm a Babalawo, and I've been in Ifa because my father was 136 years before he died in 1989. And he was Babalawo too before he died. And when he wanted to deliver me or want to take me to another Babalawo that I will start, I will continue my training with, he's still an old man too. And I've never heard that. Even when you are talking about also having a male child or having a child, you are going to see that even when if you can go to Idinhani told us that Osun slept with Orunmila, and Orunmila is an opposite sex before he got Oreyeye. But some people still go to Osetua. Yes, Osetua. So you understand. They said Orunmila marries Osun, and Orisala was trying to, looking forward to snatch Osun from him, and there are sort of games playing there. You have never heard that Osun has slept with other woman.
Oh, that woman, that's right.
To have child. And when you are talking about rainbow, what I know about rainbow was that it was anaconda that used to pour some sort of a powerful and energetic substance whenever you want to bath. And when it pour that thing out, then the rainbow will come out. And that is when there is rain and sun. Then you see an elbow.
Exactly.
So that is what I know about that. And I have to be very, very straightforward to you. And that is number one. But at the same time, Ifa says everybody has his own opinion, and you are very, very 100% free with your opinion. If someone wants to be an homosexual, there's no problem about that from me. But Ifa, my own Ifa has never told me for someone to become an homosexual.
Exactly.
Ifa says, what Ifa told us is that Ifa says, Kakatwa, I will change it to English the way I can, please. Kakatwa, ireke wu ile sun, obìnrin dùn bá sùn jọkùnrin lọ.
Exactly.
Obìnrin ó dùn bá sùn jọkùnrin lọ. Ó ní tá bá ń bá obìnrin sùn ní pàpò tó bá kẹ̀gbẹ́ sí ọ láyùngbà. Bó bá kẹ̀yìn sí ẹ láyùngbà, tó bá tàkàkà láyùngbà pátápátá, that is the most sweetest thing. Now let me change it to English. A bit of English I can change it to.
If they can understand the implication of what you just said, go ahead, sir.
He said kakatwa. Ireke wile, so that is the sugar cane is one of the best of his type. Owilesu is one of the best of his type because it's very, very sweet. The woman is suitable to have sex with more than a man. If you are having a sex with a man, it will always be like a bone is rubbing a bone.
That's it.
But when you are having a sex with a woman, if he gives you his side, it is sweet. If you do it at back, it is sweet. That's what the one you call dogmatic or dog style. I don't understand. Then if he just sleep and carry up all his leg up, that is the most sweetest one. That is exactly what Ifa told me. Ifa has never told me something like that. There are a lot of Ifa people that, they used to, they will bring their own Ifa, their own form of Ifa to suit whatever they want to do, so that they will use it to make sure, to justify whatever they are doing. That's all I know. That is where I've learned reach. Please. Maybe tomorrow I will learn up to that what people are saying. But today, that is where my
but there is not even any person anyone with a mental health that has
Please,
their
I'm
full
coming.
faculty.
I'm hearing you.
They will never say that Ifa allows them to do what it is that is being propagated. And I'm just concerned that we, the Yorubas, that we know where we came from for us to be indulging in this type of nonsense, and then they call a movie. It's now making it look as if this is part of Yoruba culture, and which is abomination. And I'm wondering, have you had a chance, or is there a conversation among the Babalawos and even their elders in the country to start calling attention of these movie stars, that they can make a movie without them having to insert this abomination into it? That's my question when you're ready.
Mr. Barr,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me from this perspective, you have a lot of these companies, these parent companies that's running a lot of these smaller companies in America that's giving funding to maybe giving funding to Nollywood to shoot their movies to promote it. So in order to get the promotion, they have to have homosexuality. So it's not even America itself. It's the companies that wants to be pushed that's funding these smaller countries and stuff like that. And that's the same thing they're trying to do in Ghana. They're trying to do in Uganda. They're basically trying to pay them off to promote homosexuality.
Exactly.
In Nollywood, you know, I'm gonna say this: Black Americans and Nigerians have we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common.
Definitely.
Ifa is really big in America. People from Africa really don't know that it's really big in America. Even from the 1900s, it's been big in America. They're finding a lot of priests like hoodoo. We call it we practice hoodoo in America as well, but they find a lot of Yoruba
that's
artifacts in their houses after they die. Even my granddad, who was a Mason, him and his sister, they had a lot of Yoruba stuff in their house when they passed away. They just had it hid because of Christianity. Now, when Black Americans was the strongest and when we wasn't so degenerate, we was practicing a lot of Yoruba, a lot of hoodoo, a lot of African traditions.
Exactly.
And what they want y'all to, the final blow is to strip you away from that culture. People don't know that even Ifa, there's a lot of Muslim aspects to Ifa.
It
And
does.
Ifa, a Muslim, going back to what the guy from Senegal was saying, the Muslim tradition was practiced in West Africa, in Northern Africa, way before it got to the Middle East. Way before. As a matter of fact, the Middle East got a lot of Islam from West Africa. That's a fact.
That's why we always say for when you're really talking about some serious Muslim scholar, they will say if you look at Ifa itself, it really is talking about Islam in the way it is being practiced. So for someone to say that because when they start breaking it down, however, there can be a different set of argument, but one of the things that I'm so concerned about, because I know the people that enslave our people, that they're unrelenting like dogs.
Yeah. It's this book that I have. It's written by a white guy though. But he is a practitioner of something called Solomonic magic. You ever heard of that, Baba?
No.
Follow
money magic?
Solomonic, like Solomon.
Oh, okay.
And that's even connected. Basically, he was saying how they do their divination. It comes from which it was called geomancy. Geomancy is basically what Ifa have been doing for the longest.
Wow.
Even the Chinese I Ching readings came from Ifa readings.
Exactly.
So they're basically they're stealing your culture and selling it back to you basically in a diluted form. The same thing they did to Black Americans. They did us the same way. And that's why you see so much crime. That's why you see we a lot of African Americans, we're unhappy deep down inside because our tradition have been lost. And when you don't have a tradition, you don't have a family. And you don't have that connection. And they're trying to do the same thing to Africa.
Yes. So if they took our tradition and they took our custom, then we don't have, we are not ourselves again. You see, that's exactly. So
let me. Sorry, Bob. I want to read this comment. What are your thoughts on this? Many of the Afro queer community desires African spirituality, believing Ifa welcomes their lifestyle because of their understanding of masculinity and femininity on a spectrum.
You mean Ifa? I think Ibarra, you want to say something? Please say something before I.
So, that's abomination all around. For me personally, I don't care what they do. They can do their Ifa. It's not going to. They're not practicing Ifa in any way. There's no such thing as square Ifa in whatever the Yorubas are. I mean, Baba, I was born here in this country, but I was raised in Nigeria. Particularly, I was raised in Agege, Baba, where they have a lot of Ifa practitioners. I promise you, the 18th
cinema.
That's right, Danji Cinema. You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
If you know the Akinjobi Street by Monica.
Yes, now.
By Monica, yes. Right there is the land of Babalawos.
Yeah,
never,
yes.
Never will you ever see any such abomination like this. Men are men. Men are men, they don't bend down for other men. It is an abomination. It is atrocious at best. People can do whatever it is they want to do, but you will not bring Yoruba tradition or any African tradition and say it is accepted. Go do you. And I reject it with my very soul because I knew the moment you accept this, we have allowed everything and anything. Then what happens to us as a people? I literally live on my street. It's an entire Ifa practitioner. What are they talking about? Never have I seen anything like that. 18 years of my life. So, Baba, I will let you say anything because I really get upset with this.
Well, you don't need to get upset. You have said it all. And to me, even any production of any product that comes out of homosexual is always be a sort of how do I call it? Because the energy, the energy will be very, very low. Even if there was a story that they said a woman and a woman, they rub this thing together and their ovules pass to each other and they become, so one of them become pregnant. And when they want to have a child, he have a child that doesn't have bone. Everything is flesh. So whenever they put the child down, the child will not be able to stand by itself. Then it will just go down. are slumped down like that, which means there is nothing like energy there. So even somebody is doing that, to me, I'm still keeping it. I don't go after people's opinion. You may have your opinion that this is what you want to do. You can continue to do it. But all I believe is that it kills energy. The spiritual energy will be killed. Even it is good for someone to stay lonely without having spouse or having opposite sex than for him or her to have sex with same organs. That's all I believe in. That's all I believe in.
If you really look at how illogical it is, right? If it is normal for them to do what they do, for those that want to be in this practice to do it, why are you catching disease from it? If it is normal. However, when you look at it that it's man and woman and it's ordained for it to be so, there is no disease involved. But if you go the other way, there's a disease involved. And when you're talking about energy, very, very important, because now if you see whatever these people were, they're involved, the level of low energy that is involved in them being able to do what they do, and then you're going to implicate other religion and say this religion allow you to do it. You can do what you do or say what you say, but you know the result from it. Why are you getting a disease from these things if it is normal?
Yeah.
Baba, Modukalawo Nyo.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome,
you so
man.
much for coming. Brother
Yeah,
Dynast,
welcome.
as usual, you do what you do.
That's
May you
true.
continue to be blessed. I thank everybody here on the platform.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
one
welcome,
more
madam.
thing, Mr. Bar. I'm
Stay
gonna say
blessed.
one more thing, Mr. Yeah, you're right. Even Ifa, it works off first. The Holy Trinity is based off Ifa still. The 0, 1, 2. The binary code. It always has to lead back to a
It's
masculine or
always
a
be
feminine.
two things. Yes, two people,
Yeah,
two things have to, interact.
it have to interact with each other. So the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. That all comes from African
Zero
tradition.
one. It's going to be
And
0 1. 1 and 0. They go together.
yeah,
That's just it. I'm sorry for
yeah,
illustrating.
yeah. Yeah. So it works off binary code. It don't have room for 4, 5, 6, 7. It only works off binary code, masculine and feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, all these traditions, all these cultures have studied Ifa, and now they're trying to dilute you by getting you to um, accept their tradition. But when it comes to homosexuality, it's no such thing of two of the same sex having actual sex. That it's called masturbation. That is not
Mm-hmm.
sex,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not a sex organ. The two women is not. They can't interact with each other like a man and a woman. So you have addiction to masturbation and
Yeah.
not
They can do
actual
masturbation.
sex. Yeah. So it's not a living it's not a living activity. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
donkey. It's a sterile activity.
Mm-hmm.
It can't reproduce anything. So
Anything.
that's
Yeah.
and also in African culture, why they have been so much against uh, homosexuality is because when you have boys, every 90% of all boys are molested by men, you know, are touched by men, So that means everybody who's touching guys are homosexual, which caused a danger in the community. That's why going back to studying African culture, that's why it was such a big deal even back then, and even here in America. Why we were so against it is because they was raping men on plantations, men and boys on plantations. That's the first thing
Mm-hmm.
they do to try to strip you down of
Mm-hmm.
power. They try to penetrate you. So yeah, it's no era for that type of behavior. And also, like I said, the Islamic tradition comes from African tradition. They just had more of a dogmatic, lower version of practicing it, but there's no homosexuality in Islamic religions. It's nonsense. It's not. It's just a bunch of nonsense that they get us nowhere.
Well, thank you for your contribution, and I believe our people have heard that, and maybe we are going to do our corrections where it's supposed to be done. So that's just I know. So, Prince, how are you doing?
Yes, I am here. I am here.
Any other question?
Yeah. Links in the chat room. If we'll take one more caller, and then we'll close out. If there's anybody else that wants to call in, we'll take one more caller and we'll close out. If not, and then go ahead, CD. Go ahead.
So do you do readings for people even in America? Or are you just doing them in Nigeria?
Yes, I can do. I do readings. I'm a known Ifa priest.
Okay.
And I know about Orisa too. He knows me. Prince knows me. He knows me. He has been in my house. He has been in my room for 3 days. We slept together. We did everything together. We ate together.
Yeah.
Did you ever get initiated in Ifa?
Not yet. No.
Okay. It's a journey, man. Even with Santeria, but in right now in Santeria, you not starting any problems, but you have a lot of Hispanics, and you have a lot of low key kind of disrespect Ifa sometimes.
With CD, you have a lot of these Cuban Babalawos that are trying to do the same thing as far as when it comes to Ifa.
Yeah, they have. And see, we have gotten away from the actual Africans that came and brought Ifa, and now it's like whitewashed. So they have a lot of disrespect for Nigerians. Like they think, oh, this is ours. We like, man, look, I'm black, right? You know what I mean? Like, you talking about my people, right? Just because I'm a Black American,
I'm sorry. The battery of my phone is low. Maybe by the time we are talking, if they have never brought my power bank, it might go off. So I have to let you know.
I can see what we'll do. We'll go ahead and close out, and then we'll be back on next Sunday.
All right. Yeah. So everybody should have, you have written down your questions. So, and I'm here for you to answer you any question at all.
And then I put your number in the chat room as well. So
yes, my number is there. Thank you very much.
Directly on WhatsApp.
And they can call on my WhatsApp. Then I'll be there for you.
Yeah,
I'll be there for you.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining.
I really appreciate you, Dennis.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So and all our viewers, I appreciate you.
Yes, yes. So we'll be back on next Sunday. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.
Thank you.